Hi, good evening. I'll be in our webinar today. We'll be talking about the future of AI engineering. That is the future of AI, artificial intelligence engineering, and particularly we're looking at bridging the gaps, the skill gaps, and that is preparing the next generation of artificial intelligence engineers with the skills company actually needs. So I'll be talking about the future of artificial intelligence, bridging the gaps, the skill gaps that is preparing the next generation of AI engineers with the skill company actually needed. And so a lot of training here and there, YouTube trainings, and a lot of things are out there, free, some are paid, and that kind of thing. And so I'll be focusing that. And today hint is actually provided by the NVIT AI engineering program, and where I'll be giving you some hints. Yes, we talk of AI engineers, which are top notch in the industry. There are areas you need to focus in learning if you want to become an AI engineer. We've heard of building models and that kind of thing, but it's changing almost every 3 months or maybe as high as 4 months. Everything is changing, and there are things you need to learn. And that is why, in a very short time today, for our webinar tonight, I'll be talking about the future of artificial intelligence engineering. We see that the dynamics. Earlier in the day, we heard so much about large language model, how to build stuff like the OpenAI ChatGPT, the Google Gemini, the Copilot from Microsoft, the Cloud from Anthropy, the Perplexity, and the rest of those models that are outside that actually take many years to build, but that you can actually build within weeks right now based on the foundational models that are, or traditional models that are already in the market. When we talk about the future of artificial intelligence engineering, we must understand that the reality of AI engineering today, there is a paradigm shift in AI development. Okay, so traditional machine learning engineer, of course, build models from the scratch. But those modern AI engineers adopt what we call the foundational models like GPT-4, the cloud, the llama, and all that to solve problems. And that is it. It's now companies are not really looking to hire or somebody that is building model from the scratch. So those foundational models, companies are looking for engineers that can look at foundational models, fine-tune them, work on understand the inference, and then being able to build applications on or bring use cases into those models, because those models are really advanced, and knowing how to use them in the different structure. For instance, knowing how to deploy, use foundational model to fine-tune or to build use cases into them using the different cloud platforms like the Microsoft Azure AI Foundry, or using the GCP Veritas AI, or using the AWS Bedrock or the SageMaker. All those type of things are what companies are looking at. So, but understanding the traditional models is very important, like transformers and all those type of transformers, the model, and those type of other modules that are existing out there that are already matured, understanding them to build into them. So we see that shift happened around the 2020 dramatically, changing skill requirement. Of course, after the COVID, we see that a lot of things change, and that happened very quickly. And so today, engineer can build stuff on GPT, on ChatGPT level applications in weeks, not a year. So, like ChatGPT, like I mentioned, can be built in a few weeks, not even years anymore. And so we see that AI engineering jobs require a lot of baseline that you need to do. So people are looking for practical engineers that know how to deploy application on the various AI platforms, like the managed platform, which we call maybe from GCP, the Veritas AI. You can build agent, you can build anything practically, right? Anything, and you don't need to be a very in-depth developer to even do those things. You need to understand the architecture and map this architecture based with business context. And so engineering of today, AI engineer, their companies are not looking for somebody that can just code without understanding the business context. So companies are looking for engineers, AI engineers that have in-depth knowledge of the business domain, understanding the use cases and how you could deploy them, and understanding the basic tool, so that when you build stuff, it's really in place. So there is a massive skill gap from what we see, right? If you see that what most courses till 2020, 2019 talks about maybe building natural network from scratch, back propagation algorithm, and maybe PhD level of mathematical theory, or creating models that take years to develop. We are not there. We're not. We are beyond that now. And so the skill that companies are looking for today in them, uh, from an AI engineer from this year 2025 and beyond, you have to understand, for instance, the transformer architecture, right? You understand different architecture, understand attention mechanisms and the context windows of those architecture, doing inference automation techniques. And those are the things that companies are looking for. And beyond doing that, building production ready artificial intelligence application. And that is where NVIT here in Frisco comes in, where NVIT teaches you the skill that companies are desperately seeking for, in terms of using how to deploy those things on maybe the Microsoft Azure Foundry, where you have a lot of traditional models that are already built, you knowing how to use them, where to use them, what use case you can do, what is already available, not inventing the wheel, but what can you use an existing or traditional models to build, and understand the best practice, right? The using reference architecture for those things to be able to build in an optimized way. Or in other words, you can also train, right? You fine tune what already has been developed. And to do that, you need basic skills around the architecture, the business. You need to understand that. The attention mechanism in terms of understanding the context window or the business domain is very important. And beyond that, even sometimes recommended system, and trying to also do what we call inference automatizations, which has various strategy and skills. And these are what our companies are actually looking at to build, right? So understanding that is very important. And so AI engineering concern today is around trustworthy AI ethics, right? Understanding the ethics and building responsibly. That is what is being required. Then the AI, a trustworthy AI quality engineer, right? Making sure that everything is fine. AI data and model operators or what your operations. How are the operations in terms of ML or machine learning operations, right? And the AI modeling, the system operations and all those things, system and application architecture, and software engineering, product management, and the user experience are all considered. Of course, these are a kind of traditional software management, right? That not necessarily required um, anything beyond your normal experience. So, but the software engineer or AI engineer that will move forward today are the people that understand architecture, the AI architecture, like transformer for instance, and the transformer for instance, or the attention mechanism, understanding attention mechanism of a system, and being able to provide inference strategies, automatizations. These are the people that we move very well. There are 7 core competence of what I call the elite AI engineers today, 7 core competence. And if you don't take anything from what I'm talking about this evening, I think this is the core important thing. So as you learn either on YouTube or you come to us in NVIT, there are core competence if you want to be called an elite AI engineer. And what separates this profession from the warnables, right, or the others? Number one, that the core competence that is required, you must master the foundation model. You have to master them. That is understanding stuff like the transformer and the architecture, attention mechanisms, and context windows. In fact, even recommendation systems, right? Understanding them is very, very important. And so you need to understand the foundational model and master them. And this makes sure that you know which model you can either go for fine tuning, that is a kind of easy for you to deploy based on what you want to use, because some of these models are tested and they are production ready. So you need to understand the foundation model, and these are transformers, right? The transformers, sorry, the attention, and understand the attention mechanisms, architecture, and the context windows. Number 2 thing that is very important for elite AI engineer today to learn is what I call the advanced prompting. In advanced prompting, we're talking about in context learning. The programmers or the AI engineer is like a communicator, right? How to you convert with the AI, understand the AI architecture, and build use cases into them. So in the context of learning or change of thought reasoning, and these are things that helps you to build powerful agents or agentic system today, right? So you change of thought reasoning, or what we call the few shot or zero shot learning. And so understanding this, making you to become a very good prompt engineer, will make you to stand out as what I call the elite AI engineers. So you must need to understand advanced prompting. You have to be able to prompt by understanding in terms of context of the learning and the chain of thought of reasoning of the system, providing what we call the few shot and the zero shot learning. Another thing that is key as of today as well is the rack system, right? Of course, rack system or rack, RAG, that is real-time augmented generations. That is, for instance, you have a library or a knowledge base, and you do what we call retrieval. Okay, so it's retriever augmented generation. So that is a rack, right? So where you go into a kind of document or an area, then you search. You use the search AI search models to be able to do that type of thing, to do retrieval augmented generation, maybe data stored in vector storage or embedded model, like, and then it does a semantic search very well. And there are many of those that exist today, right? The ChatGPT, and then using it to even build something. In fact, on either on the GCP, on the Azure, or AWS and all that, you can jumpstart a rack system on their platform as quickly as possible. You can also host them too, by the way, just for to listen to particular information that you may be required. Then number two, 14 that you must know, it is what we call the model adoption. The model adoption, that is, you need to understand and have skill to be able to fine tune the model, right? And then beyond fine tuning the model, you need to be able to parameterize. You need to have parameterized efficiency method, right? Where you have to be gurus in this domain. And then beyond that, instruction tuning, because for each model, be it as we try to adopt model, you can adopt the model for the instruction, specific rules and definitions that you have to use to make the model to behave the way you want it to behave. And then again, preference automatizations. So these are key areas that you have to know. Another thing, number 5, is production deployment. In terms of you have to be production ready at deployment, right? Inference automatizations. Earlier I talked about inference mechanism or techniques. You need to be able to do containerizations. You need to be able to do batching. You need to be able to do what we call the hardware accelerations. And if you are able to do all that, then I think you'll be part of what we call the elite engineer. So number 1, understand, have good knowledge of foundation models. Master, you have to master it, the foundation model. That is, understand the basic of transformer, attention mechanisms, context windows, and all that. And then number 2, you need to advance in advanced prompting. That is, you understand the context of learning and the chain of thought of reasoning around few shots or the zero shot learning that are part of prompting. And then rack system, understand the base, because if you understand the rack system, it will become very easy for you to talk about agentic AI or build stuffs, okay? Then the model adoptions, adopting a model to a particular use case of business is very paramount, right? Many models are out there. You don't just pick a model because you want a model. No, each model have a better reasoning and are developed to be able to behave better in different use cases. So that is very, very paramount as well. Another thing that I want to quickly talk about, it is in NVIT we have a comprehensive AI engineering program that helps to bridge the skill gap with strategic learning. And when I mean strategic, I mean strategic. Have a complete competent coverage. Our programs address all these 7 competencies required for modern AI engineering sources that I mentioned. And then we make it to be a kind of a perfect balance of theory and practical, right? So it's hands-on. So avoiding the common pitfalls of bringing too theoretical or too a kind of shallow or stuff like that. So we build it, it's a balanced learning, and it's fully hands-on, where you learn by doing. And again, our curriculums are industrially aligned, okay, aligned to the industry and what is happening today. So you develop based on analysis of many jobs that are out there today or new roles that are coming from the market. And then we have what we call the strategic skill queuing, which by mastering one competent at a time in a kind of optimal order with the right resources, right? So this is very, very important, especially if you want to become an expert engineer. Why NVIT stands out, therefore, is that why 95% of AI courses teaches outdated skill. NVIT programs are designed to equip you with practical skill that 80% of companies are desperately seeking for this year and beyond. And so it's very important if you're looking for AI program, we are here in Frisco, Texas, where we teach our engineers, teach students, or people that want to switch into AI or want to add job, or they are just new grad and they are looking for skill. We are the best. You can see that in the whole of the US, a lot of investment has gone into AI this year. A lot of data centers are being built out here in Texas, and the whole United States actually, and around the world. So as the years go by, yes, you hear today of layoff and all that in the tech industry, but again, you have to reposition. When you reposition, it's difficult for you to be laid off. So you have to understand this. It's not learning coding. No, that's not what we are talking about. We are go beyond the basic of coding. No, we're talking about understanding the architecture, understanding the business, understanding the problems, and bringing AI to solve them for real people. That is what will earn you your job security. Another thing that you have to understand, and that we do very well in NVIT, we use strategic learning part here in NVIT, where our structured approach to AI engineering education is very, very key. We learn by doing, we teach by providing guidance, and our skills are pointedly to the industry, what the industry is looking for. So the NVIT programs, the AI engineer program specifically, follows a strategic sequence designed to build competence that are required, and it's progressive, so that we avoid any type of loopholes that we're talking about. Especially, imagine going to learn something for 1 month or 2 months or 3 months or even 4 months, and everything is gone. So we looked into the future to look at the trajectory of where the parameters is. I mean, based on a lot of research that are out there, where they are going, so that the training is aligned. And so if you're an engineer, you want to play in this industry, it's a continuous learning. What you learned 6 months ago is updated as we speak, especially in the context of artificial intelligence. And so the learning is progressive. You have to be very fast. And then you have to not just reading what is online or playing YouTube. That's not what I'm talking about. You need to strategically plan a roadmap to get you to become an AI expert. And so having that systematic progression through all our competence, like I mentioned, in this domain particularly, is very important. And then you balance the theoretical understanding and the practical applications, right? It's not learning coding. Good foundations of coding are very important, no doubt about that. Like understanding functions, understanding algorithm, understanding variables, understanding distance, and your experience. If you really want to have good understanding of linear algebra or calculus, that thing, if you're a mathematician, you want to go in depth, fine. But what we are saying is that you can have all those things and you're still nothing, right? You're not really valuable in the AI industry. The reason is that there are core important aspects that companies need more or engineers to operate on right now. And what we call the machine learning operations, the MLOps, right? That is like serious. There is people that understand the tool that have been built. Microsoft spend a lot building the Azure AI Foundry, understanding the whole of that strata or the stack, and being able to build agent, build stuff, or guiding people, bringing use cases, understanding the architecture is very important. Google had a lot called the Veritas AI. is another big one. The AWS has the AWS Bedrock or the SageMaker is another big one. And all these guys understanding the real thing, how you can take OpenAI, which is the GPT-4 whatever, to build something transformatively in the industry or for to solve human problem is what we're talking about. And so, and it's not a rocket science. In fact, you can learn it. So you need to regularly, we in here in NVIT, we regularly update our curriculum based on what happened in the industry. So it is aligned completely to it because we are workforce development, career focus, and AI specialized college here. So we make sure that you learn very well. Not only that, we build portfolio projects. So you learn by doing. We support a lot of clients. We build a lot of AI tools. In fact, we build one called the Jericho AI for cloud cost optimization. If you go to jerichoai.io, you will see it there. So, and people learn by working and deploying those type of projects, even for some time when we have to work for our customers as well. And so before you leave our training, you have also portfolios that you can refer to with practical experience. And so number one, there are three phases to our program. Number one, you master the conceptual understanding of the AI engineering fundamental, like you know the basic of the transformer architecture, basic, then the foundation model principles, and then the applications opportunity and some ethical considerations. Those are the things that we teach you. Phase two, you learn the technical skill, hands-on, dirty your hands, and implementing things like the rack system, agent system, right? Rack system development, model fine-tuning techniques, automation techniques, production deployment, and agent creations. Those are the things that people need people to build. Company need people to build. Nobody will hire you if you don't understand this. And then again, to what you have learned, to also validate it to people. You also, with the certification, you have to take certification and also demonstrate with portfolio. So by validating your expertise in real world capability, we also the industrial recognized certification you either take from the various vendor, either from AWS, from Google, or from Microsoft, or from IBM, or from NVIT, wherever you, depending on the type of program you're doing, you are able to take those industry recognized certifications, and you're also able to complete an AI application project, not one, different project that support that evaluate you and get you to become a kind of an independent contributor, right? So with job ready portfolio development, and that is what we do. Our programs are open, right? And so it's our programs is a kind of personalized learning, right? We have a personalized path for you to follow, roadmap. So NVIT tailors the AI engineering journey to your own background, right? Where you came from. We look at if you, even if you are not in IT, wherever you came from, we tailor it to that background. So it's a personalized type of learning, and with your background and the experience level. Maybe it's in business and sales, we look at that area to future you there, right? If it's in management, the same thing. If it's an want to become an independent contributor, we look at it. If it is in product or project and process management, we align what you need to do to that, right? So for a complete beginner, you start with the NVIT courses for conceptual understanding, foundation understanding, like I mentioned, like the transformer, right? And then you progress to the other track, which is hands-on, and we get you ready for certification, and then you pass those certifications from the big tech and all those things to provide a kind of credibility to what you have learned. You build projects, you build different type of project and all that type of thing. Then for experienced developer, it's 2 to 3 months. You are able to have, you could skip if you already have understanding of the foundational concept, right? That can be skipped and you can directly move to the track itself, which has to do with hands-on. And here we focus more around the rack systems, the model adoptions, foundational models adoptions, agentic systems, and that kind of thing. And of course, immediately you can tackle your certification, do a lot of project here and there to be able to um, have a portfolio by leveraging on your existing programming background to accelerate your learning. You must understand that you are a good person in coding, software developer does not make you an AI engineer. So because this go beyond coding, ChatGPT can code, Cloud can code, many of the AI tools can code today, right? So if you understand the whole system, the architecture, the business, the the context, the how to adopt, right? How to do inference, do fine tuning. Those technical strategy are the things that will place you, that will ask company to be knocking at your door, and when they are laying off, you don't have to bother. But again, in this AI industry and economy, it becomes very important for a continuous learning. You must upgrade, you must keep on learning day by day because everything keeps coming new by day. In fact, the old time, I think it's a year or two from before now, we're not talking about MCP, right? The model control protocol. We're not talking of agent to agent protocol, but those are the things that we're talking about today. So it keep going, and we go very fast, right? So it's very important. Then for career changers, if you are changing your career from one career to become an expert in AI, maybe around 4 to 5 months, is you can do this journey, right? So what NVIT will do is to ensure that there are some essential course for business to tech transition. And so based on where you are, you can be transit to become an AI elite engineer. And with extra time on foundational concept, before you can begin to lay hand on implementation. Then by focusing on data-centric AI approach, and then emphasizing the business, the ethic, and all those type of things, the things that you do. And so you must understand that your competitive advantage is by standing out in a competitive market. I repeat, your competitive advantage is standing out in a competitive market. And so the market is tough, no doubt about that. But what can differentiate you is that you need skills that is people are looking for. Of course, companies are hiring, big techs are hiring, AI builders are hiring, startups are hiring. Of course, they are hiring in as much others are also losing their job, no doubt about it. But what will stand you out in in this competitive market is by standing out in a competitive market, right? So your competitive advantage is standing out in the competitive market, and that is by having in-demand skills. So NVIT graduate master existing skill that 80% of companies are desperately seeking for, right? So the exact skill that is required, they are hiring for, is what you master. Even sometimes you know the skill before they are published because that is a trajectory, and these are ignored. Some people are learning, oh, let me go and learn Python. Python is good, no doubt about that. You can learn Python. Of course, some of this will also tell you a lot about Python. But it's beyond that. It's beyond coding. It's beyond this. No. You need to know the concept, model adoptions, the tool that are being used. You need to learn transformer architecture and all those things. Those are the things that we learn. So NVIT graduate master the exact skills that 80% of companies are desperately seeking for. And we know, we are very sure of that, right? So come to us, our team, or visit our website and get a course. If you are in Texas, if you are a resident in Texas, you could check our website as well. You may be eligible for a free zero cost training, right? That is sponsored by the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act called the WIOA. You may be opportune to for a free training. But of course, if you are not eligible for that, we have a campaign. We also have financing. Get in touch with our team, and we're able to talk to you. We also have this stand. If you stand out in your skill in this competitive market, you are also able to assess what we call the premium salaries, right? AI engineer with production ready skills command top tier compensation package. That is not a story anymore. We see company like Facebook going after people different. There is a talent competitions are up there. These are people that understand what it takes to really build something, right? They understand the architecture, understand the business, understand everything. I'm talking beyond knowing what I'm building a model from the scratch. I'm talking about that. I'm talking beyond knowing the algorithm. I'm talking beyond. So you need to be able to interpret your data. You need to be able to bring business from the data. You need to be able to bring uniqueness from the data. That's what we're talking about here, right? With those tools that are out there, and how to use those tools to make something different as well. So industry aligned portfolio are something too that you build. They're not just building and showing somebody something on GitHub. No, that's not what I'm talking about. You are building industry ready portfolio that anybody sees. Of course, they know you know what you are doing. And so you build real world project that showcase your ability to potential employers. So AI skill demands are actually growing. If you can see, they keep growing. All right. I'm not talking of traditional machine learning skills, but I'm talking about a kind of a serious AI ready elite skills. And those are very, very important. And so please, if you want to start today, our programs are open. We are already open, taking for our start on the 15th of next month. The admission is on. You can visit our website and quickly apply for the various start date that you see here. So join us for the next generation AI engineers and master the skills that 88% of companies are desperately seeking for. So why start now? Number one is that we have limited seats available for each of these cohort, and early application receive exclusive learning resources, right? In fact, we have a lot of demo classes, right? You can have hints to it, right? And become job ready before the next AI hiring wave, because the wave is coming every time. So if you visit our website, you can check on the training program, and then you can also email us there at info@nvit.tech, and you will be able to understand. So you must understand that this is key for you to learn, right? It's very, 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 very important. You have to learn all this core stuff. And as you learn them, as you come, we're able to provide guidance. Once again, thank you very much to join. And then for some of you,